Making sense of a play that had us all seeing spots.
I think he got it.
After review, the ruling in the field stands as called. It'll be first down, Kansas City.
And yet another play that decided an entire game. Kansas City again to the Super Bowl. Buffalo again wondering how it got away. Also, fly, Eagles, fly. Only to fly, they don't need to leave the ground. Philly punching their Super Bowl ticket. Let's go around the horn.
Been some palpably unfair scoring coming during this episode around the horn.
You people often tell me no one play changes a game or decides a game. I'm never sure I agree. So here we are, starting with one play that changed the game. Fourth down, you make the call. Did Josh Allen get it or not? Let me hear it, national panel.
Yes.
Yeah.
The spot from two line judges who were in different places. And the review by referees who already had a magnifying glass on them all week. How it all has fans asking again, what am I seeing here? Courtney Cronin, around the horn to you. How did you see that pivotal game-changing play?
I saw the Chiefs defense stop Josh Allen after he got the first down, Tony. And it's frustrating because you have the down judge saying something, the line judge saying another. Gene Steratore on the broadcast saying that he believed about a third of the football actually got across the plane and that Josh Allen should have converted there on the fourth down. And we talk about chips. I know it's something you brought up on social media yesterday. The football actually does have a radio frequency identification chip in it. It just can't determine when the ball is down or when a player's down where that ball is or to measure first downs. It's frustrating because it's a game of inches. We've talked about it. It was a game-changing play. The Chiefs go down and score 5 plays later. It's 29-22. It absolutely changed the trajectory of the game. I just don't understand that we have self-driving cars, why we can't have that technology that's already within the football able to help measure when a ball actually crosses a plane.
Self-driving cars? I mean, we have another football. The UFL has a different chip in their ball using the Hawkeye technology that gets within millimeters. But to answer the question, do you believe, Courtney Cronin, this changed the game?
I do. As I said, they went down and they scored 5 plays later. Of course, the Bills come, rumbling right back into it. But yes, this was a game-changing play at a time where the Bills could not afford to lose possession.
Harry Lyles Jr., around the horn to you.
Yeah, I think unless the football magically disappeared while it was in Josh Allen's possession, it was probably a first down. Because it doesn't look like it based on where he was and where we know he was holding the football. But obviously this has to do with also the rules that are currently in place because they have to go based off what was on the ruling on the field and whether or not, and we always hear this every single broadcast because it is the rules, inconclusive video evidence. So either you are confirming or letting a call stand. Now, as far as this changing the game, obviously it changes the outcome because it is a different result than what it would be had the call been otherwise. However, if you are the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, you still had the football before the 2-minute warning, I think with about 3.5 minutes left, all of your timeouts. That is the possession that you live for, right? That is the opportunity that you would want at Arrowhead Stadium going against this team to go down and finally break this curse that seems to be looming over your franchise. And they didn't take advantage of that opportunity. So you could point to that play, but you could also point to that last possession that they had. They didn't take care of business.
Pablo Torre, around the horn to you.
Yeah, look, unless you're willing to occupy NFL headquarters like those fans in England did over the Super League protests, nothing is going to change in terms of how we measure down and distance because no one's going to watch the game any less. And also, to Courtney's question, right, you also got to put microchips in people's knees and potentially their butts depending on when they touch the ground, right? It's not just where is the ball, it's where are you relative to various planes that are relevant to that measurement. So, did it change the game, though, in this micro sense? It did. It's just that there were so many more opportunities afterwards to then make a different change. And that's, again, look to Dalton Kincaid, to all of those timeouts that they had, to all of that stuff, Tony. I just don't think this is not the molehill that becomes the mountain. It's a heartbreaker because Allen, I think, did get the first down, but nothing is going to change.
Bill Barnwell, around the horn to you.
Some stuff did.
Putting microchips in people's knees seems hazardous to the health of Dan Campbell. I don't want to see that happen. What I do want to see is another play call from the Bills on 4th and short here, because they had already been stuffed 3 different times in this game on sneaks behind left guard. The broadcast was even calling it out on the 2-point play. They love to go left. They're clogging up the left line of the line. They'd been stopped on a 3rd and 1 sneak earlier on that drive behind left guard. So yes, I do think Josh Allen got that first down. Yes, I think the call was probably correct on replay because we didn't see clear evidence, even though you have to believe, if you could see the evidence, it would have said it was a first down. But the Bills needed some other concepts to work with in this game. This was not the one play that decided the game, but of course it changed.
Well, let me ask if there was another play that decided the game. 2 minutes left. 3-point game. It's still all there for Buffalo. The other 4th down play. Another play where everything changes afterwards. Buffalo ready to run the motion play to Shakir maybe. KC called that perfect blitz. Could Allen still have gone to Shakir? Could Kincaid have caught it? It's the stuff that decides history. Here's Josh Allen after the game.
It's not fun. But to beat the champs, you gotta beat the champs, and we didn't do it tonight.
Bill, do you see Buffalo unable to get over a hump as a franchise problem, a Josh Allen problem, or just a Mahomes in Kansas City thing?
It's a product of a lot of things. But this is a team that's now beaten the Chiefs 4 times in a row in the regular season. This is not like something where they just don't have the formula to beat the Chiefs. They've just not beaten the Chiefs during the postseason. And to me, that is not a talent thing. That is an attrition thing for the Buffalo Bills. The key factor in this game to me were the injuries for the Bills in the secondary. Cole Bishop was playing for Taylor Rapp. He got run over on multiple plays, including that Kareem Hunt touchdown. Got out-muscled by, of all people, Xavier Worthy on a 50-50 ball downfield, set up another Chiefs score. And then Christian Bedford went out in this game early and was replaced by Kyer Elam, who's barely played this year. And the Bills repeatedly had to deal with Elam giving up completions underneath for steady gains. This is a issue of attrition to me late in the season for the Bills. I think they have to approach their roster thinking, we're not going to have every single player ready by the time we get to January. We have to have a deeper roster because the teams who have beaten the Chiefs in the postseason have usually had very deep, very talented secondaries.
Pablo Torre.
Yeah, Tony, I want to celebrate Mozart's birthday with you today because Josh Allen is Salieri. For those not familiar, Salieri was the rival to Amadeus Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He was great. He was really good at composing. He just had the misfortune of going up against a prodigy who is now a supervillain. Like, it happens. We've seen it happen, maybe not to this dramatic extent, but that's the curse that he has befallen, that has befallen him. It's not merely all the actual stuff that Bill is referencing, which of course we'll check out. It's the idea that he's going up against somebody that he's just not as good as. And that, when you combine it with the larger organization that the Chiefs have built, it's why you hear him talk like that. It's why you'll hear him talk like that for years to come, I fear.
Aaron Lyles Jr.
So, Pablo, what you're telling me is Patrick Mahomes, to bring it to somebody that more people might know, is Michael Jordan and the rest of the NFL are the cast of characters that didn't get titles when Michael Jordan was playing basketball, right? That's how my little brain can understand it. But look, that's what I think that this is, if we're being honest. Look, the Buffalo Bills, 78 wins over the last 6 seasons. That's the most wins by any team in that same stretch or in any stretch in NFL history over 6 years that did not make a Super Bowl appearance. So it seems like there's just, again, some sort of curse that's looming over this Buffalo franchise. But again, this to me has much more to do with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and we talk about experience. It has not seemed to matter who you put on that offense. He's going to get it done. Juju Smith-Schuster had 60 yards receiving at 171 all season. They made the defensive stops they needed to against Josh Allen, who is one of the 2 guys that is up for this MVP trophy coming up. And this is also a Chiefs team that has 17 consecutive wins in 1-possession games. Like, this is what they do, man. Like, if you're Buffalo, a lot of us thought that this was going to be a rebuilding year for you. So if anything, you should hope going into next season, we can build something around our guy that looks like one of the 3 best players in the NFL and eventually beat Michael Jordan.
So
but
you
right
don't
now,
feel like
MJ
this is Buffalo
MJ.
regretting they couldn't get over the hump this year. This was just, what did you call it, a rebuilding year for the Bills?
I mean, I thought it was going to look more like that than this.
Courtney
I thought
Cronin
this
around
was
the
a great year
horn
for
you.
them.
I disagree that Josh Allen is not as good as Patrick Mahomes. I mean, let's go back to that 4th and 5 in the corner blitz. Nobody was going to be able to stop that with a 5-man protection. It's not like he wasn't prepared for a DB blitz. The Chiefs use it on 18% of dropbacks. That's the second highest rate in the NFL. He was probably expecting that might have come from somewhere else. Usually they're blitzing with a free safety, not with the corner. That's the one time that Steve Spagnuolo called a corner blitz all game, and it got home. There's such a small margin for error, though, that Josh Allen can't be 1 of 8 for 4 yards against pressure. He can't have a slow start. The defense can't give up points to the Kansas City Chiefs on 3 of the Chiefs' first 4 possessions. Those are the little things that add up to be very big things that can't happen when you're on the road playing a team who has been at this stage numerous times before, now going on to play in their third straight Super Bowl. It's frustrating. I get it for Bills fans because it's like, what is it going to take? And then you can see kind of the sum of all these things. Bad play calling in short yardage situations, a challenge flag that probably shouldn't have been thrown by Sean McDermott. All of those things on top of the play that we saw on the field added up to the result that you saw yesterday, where there wasn't just one moment, but a collection of these moments that cost them in the end.
Second guessing going on in Buffalo. And now we turn our attention to Kansas City. All right, I think we heard Mozart. I think we heard Jordan. I'll go Breaking Bad. He can't keep on getting away with this. Bill Barnwell, a lot of NFL fans are feeling that way about Kansas City always rising at the biggest moments of the game. So how do you view this Kansas City run to the Super Bowl? Around the horn, Bill Barnwell.
We have framed this so passively on this show today. The idea that the Bills lost this game. Did the Chiefs not win this game? Is this not an impressive performance from the Chiefs? Did they not score 30 points for the first time all season when they needed to most? Did they not stop Josh Allen multiple times on 4th downs when he's been virtually unstoppable on those sneaks and those tush pushes? Did they not come up with a defensive stop exactly when they needed it? All year we've been waiting for the Chiefs to show up and be the team that lives up to their record. They did on Sunday, and we're talking about the Bills for this entire segment. I don't understand.
Well, here we go. Is Kansas City not getting enough credit? Pablo Torre, around the horn to you.
Look, Andy Reid, if he wins this Super Bowl, there's an argument he is the greatest coach of all time, not Bill Belichick. And part of the reason why, Tony, is because you see him in the games that matter pull out plays like the designed run for Patrick Mahomes that you just don't see anymore since his knee injury. He breaks it out when he needs it. He has stuff that he's waiting to break out, and he's going to do it again.
Harry Lyles Jr.
If you're the Bills and you would have said, hey, you're going to score 29 points at Arrowhead, not turn the football over, win the turnover battle, and still lose the football game, that can only happen against Kansas City. So, yeah, no, we're probably not giving them enough credit. They're the only team that could do that.
And Courtney Cronin.
We're not giving them enough credit today because we're only going to be talking about the Chiefs for the next week and a half. So you got to give Buffalo their
That was
due
very
what
pragmatic.
happened in a razor-thin margin.
Looking like a
for
true
them
producer,
going on the
Courtney
road.
Cronin. Okay, all right. Taking a break. Around the horn rolls on with Buy or Sell next.
To Around the Horn, coming to you from the Seaport. Brought to you by Patron. Perfection starts with Patron.
The party is on in Philadelphia. The Eagles back to the Super Bowl for the second time in 3 years. In our NFL season preview 6 months ago, it was the pick of a panel that looked somewhat like this, that the Eagles were the team in the league set up for a setback. Missed the playoffs, I heard on that show. Who wants those mutes? Okay.
Yeah.
55 points to win the conference championship is a new NFL record. 7 rushing touchdowns is a ludicrous number. Saquon Barkley, has there ever been a better year in postseason for a running back? And then Sirianni and Hurst and Fangio vindication tours. Bill Barnwell, what's the number one story out of this Eagles run to the Super Bowl for you?
Thing I didn't see coming, the Howie Roseman defensive class of 2024 that took over this game like I've so many other games this year. Zach Bond, star linebacker, signed for a 1-year deal, forced fumble recovery. Quinyon Mitchell, the rookie cornerback, locks down Terry McLaurin, 36 snaps, 1 catch for 7 yards, even picked off a pass dedicated to McLaurin and did his touchdown celebration as an interception celebration after the play. And then Vic Fangio, the guy who Dolphins players were tweeting about how excited they were that he got laid off this time last year, brings that defense back, forces the Commanders to work their way down the field. An incredible defense.
Incredible answer, but not once mentioning Saquon Barkley. Pablo Torre, around the horn to you.
Yeah, I'm going tush push, Tony. I'm going with the play that was. I mean, look, the fact that there is a rule, I believe it's Article 4, Rule 12, palpably unfair acts that the Washington Commanders triggered because they tried to Superman leap over the pile to try and stop this over and over again. And of course, the thing that's actually palpably unfair is the tush push itself. Like that, behind an O-line that has been hurt and shuffling around. They lose. Doesn't matter who they lose, it seems, along that line. They just keep on pushing that push.
Yeah, I don't
And
have
it's
a
incredible.
problem with what Washington did. If you're literally allowed to push the ball carrier, then Washington should literally be allowed to jump it any way they can to try to stop it. Just because you're aggravated, it looks like there's a glitch in the matrix. They're doing it every time. Doesn't mean you're going to give them points. Harry Lyles Jr., around the horn to you on this run for Philadelphia.
Yeah, Tony, I mean, it starts with Saquon Barkley. And in the case of last night, I mean, that first play from offense, he showed, hey, we're going to work half as hard and get double the results. Like, good luck keeping up. And then for them defensively, 10 takeaways this postseason, 0 giveaways. That is the type of formula that teams win championships on, and that is the best margin since 2000. So the Eagles do this old school way. Run the football, play defense, send Kirby Smart a ring if the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
The Philadelphia Dogs. Yeah, I hear you. And how about you, Courtney Cronin?
The story of this season is that they lost their emotional leader in Jason Kelce and replaced him with a rookie in Cam Jurgens who didn't miss a beat. Like, he goes into this game trying to test it out because he's got a back injury. He's not able to play until he has to when Landon Dickerson gets hurt. The story of this offensive line being able to basically like force everything through, whether it's Saquon Barkley and his rushing success. Let's not forget Jalen Hurts had an incredible day yesterday, 3 rushing touchdowns, but the success that he's had throughout the air. This offense is the story. It is what's going to carry them on to the next level. And frankly, there's not
Carry them on to the next level. Wait, was that a preview to the Super Bowl here? Then the next level?
I mean, they're in the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
It's literally what they're doing.
Okay. All right. I thought we got a little tease there that you were.
I got a week and a half.
Okay.
Not making my
Work on
pick
your
yet.
Commanders' magical run ending, but what a run it was. Jaden Daniels, a season for the ages. There's a head of schedule, and then there's what this was, a franchise that didn't even know there was a schedule to be had for 30 years. Getting a QB and everything changes. So how does Washington review what they did and build on it? Courtney, do you see this year as a magical one-off run, as we've seen sometimes in the past, or something more?
No, definitely not a one-off. They go from 4-13 to the NFC Championship. That's not just luck. They got the formula right. Now you're going to have to guard against some of the things that had happened to the Houston Texans after they got the quarterback right and regressed a little bit this past year. No one's saying that that won't happen to Washington, but the fact that they go into the offseason with optimism for, I don't know, maybe the first time in about 20 years shows me that this thing is only getting started.
Harry Lyles Jr.?
Yeah, if you're the Washington front office, you are officially on the clock because you had the rookie quarterback that had the rookie quarterback season of all time, right? He had a QBR of 80 in 3 consecutive playoff games. There have only been 5 other quarterbacks to do that, and they all won MVP. So you have your cornerstone piece. Now you have to start building around him.
No, this is all gravy, but I just want to ask the question, is anybody going to take the Commanders to win their division next season? Probably not, right? Based on the very obvious facts we just established. So to me, look, I'm just saying, like, it is an amazing season. They're going to be good. Jaden Daniels is the truth, yes. But in terms of what next season is going to be like, nothing is to be taken for granted. They're going to have to fight their way into the playoffs again.
Yeah, I mean, the strides they've made are real, but sustaining those strides and building on them for next year is going to be tough. Look at what happened with Matt Nagy and the Bears a few years ago, and they had that great year. They took a major step backwards. Joe Shane and Brian Dable with the Giants, they looked great after their first year. Now it looked like they were going to get fired this season in New York a couple years later. Bobby Sloak, the offensive coordinator for the Texans, just got fired after he was a head coaching candidate.
I hear what you're saying, but you're just comparing Jaden Daniels to Mitchell Trubisky and Daniel Jones?
Comparing the success of the team to the team that also grew out of nowhere and had an out of nowhere season. Palpably unfair.
Looks like Bill Barnwell, Courtney Cronin, thank you for your time. Looks like we've got a Mozart-Jordan showdown next. Time for one showdown. It's the Dallas Cowboys hiring Brian Schottenheimer. Let's go around that horn. Promoted from offensive coordinator, his first head coaching job after 3 decades as an assistant. He's OC'd or QB coached about a quarter of the teams in the league. And now we're here. Harry, how does this hire strike you?
With a lot of confusion. He had not interviewed for a head coaching job since 2013 when Dak Prescott was a sophomore at Mississippi State. And there have also just not been any indications that anybody else wanted this guy to be their head coach. Like, he might end up being great, but I'm certainly confused by what's going on.
Pablo Torre.
I gotta respect Jerry Jones not caring at all about winning a press conference and potentially football games at this point. It's the easiest thing to do is to go and make a splash with somebody that the fans are going to be at least intrigued by. And Jerry's like, guess what I got for you? I got for you Brian Schottenheimer.
You said
Brian
he hasn't
Schottenheimer.
interviewed for a head coaching job in over 10 years. That is incredible research. Harry Lyles Jr., that will get you the points and the FaceTime. 30 seconds.
Big WNBA trade over the weekend. Jewel Lloyd going to the Las Vegas Aces, Kelsey Plum going to the Sparks, and a bunch of first-round picks in the mix there. I love this move for the Aces. We needed to have, obviously, Kelsey Plum wanted to move, Jewel Lloyd wanted to move. You're adding that perimeter scoring to a team that has Asia Wilson. Obviously, I still think the best player in the WNBA alongside Princeton. Shout out Jackie Young as well. And obviously Chelsea Gray as well. I think this could be a trade to help begin them get back their title defense, getting it back from the New York Liberty.
Harry Lyles Jr., thank you for your time today. Got a microchip in this paper ball. And now you're going to see exactly where it goes. And see, it's hard to get a microchip in a ball. I get it. We do it because it's hard, not because it's easy.